Thank you so much, Monse. It's an absolute honor to be your partner. What a great panel. Am I right? We had speakers on the stage, on the screen, all over the world. What a demonstration of our interconnectedness. When this pandemic started, I was huddled in my home with my family, including my two small children, Margot and Simon. Separated from our closest relatives, my husband and I worked hard to keep them smiling and learning. We feared that the isolation would affect them for the rest of their lives and that they'd never see their grandparents or uncles again. I felt useless and completely disillusioned with the way our world, and particularly my own country, the United States, was handling the crisis. Then I had the opportunity and the honor to work with our founding president, Joan Holmes, as she created a communication for the Hunger Project community. In it, Joan wrote, "The world that emerges from this crisis cannot resemble the old. This can be the end of an era. We need to replace hatred with love, disharmony with cooperation. We need to come to realize there is no other. There is just us. We need to think as one species, as one humanity." I've read and reread and quoted that letter so many times since then, I can't even tell you. Here was a place to stand. Within days, people in over 60 countries had read that communication. My favorite response was from Samuel Afrane, our country director in Ghana, who I think is up in the middle of the night watching us right now. He said, "This is all about us. We should reflect on it and think about it. We should dream, redream, and speak it. We should live by it and feel proud." From there, it grew. More and more people became engaged in the conversation. And we recognize that what we are really in is a deep inquiry, asking us to examine the very paradigm we've been living in our whole lives. A worldview of separation, of us and them, where people are viewed as others, where division, competition, control, and oppression reign. What does this have to do with hunger, you might ask? Everything. This is the paradigm that keeps hunger, poverty, and the degradation of our natural environment in place. We're beginning to see cracks in this paradigm, with massive and global calls for racial justice, demands for worldwide vaccine equity, and a growing commitment to finally confront our climate crisis. And here we all are. We are being called to be the change makers, yet again, my dear Hunger Project family, to shift to a new worldview of wholeness, cooperation, and compassion. Together, we can welcome a new future of interconnectedness. This evening, we have an opportunity to dwell in this conversation of what it means to shift from a worldview of separation to one of interconnectedness. Whether this conversation is new to you or you've been engaged with it for some time, we invite you to think newly. So what we're going to do right now is break out into some small group discussions. In the room, you'll do this at your tables, online, you'll do it in your hosted locations or in small virtual breakout rooms. There are conversation starter questions in your program booklet, and online we'll drop them into the Zoom chat window. And we've assigned a facilitator for each table or hosted group. For those of you in the virtual breakout rooms, please do that at the outset. To get us started, I'd like to invite Catherine Schindler to share with us how it's made a difference in her life to be in this inquiry.
Thanks, Jenna. Interconnectedness. It sounds so good, and I think everyone wants it. There isn't anyone who doesn't want it. And there's some people who say we have it. And yet, I've had a chance to be engaged with this conversation for the last several months with several investor activists. And what I've noticed so far is saying we want to be interconnected hasn't moved the needle, paradoxically enough. And, and instead, I'm starting to discover that examining this, this predominant conversation, this prevailing conversation for separation or about separation, it has revealed a lot more. To see where I'm speaking that there is separation, where I'm thinking it, where I'm being it, and then, if I can, notice the illusion that that really is. When I'm able to do that, I'm starting to discover that that may be the gateway to truly being and coming from the possibility that we might be really interconnected. And I have to say I'm not there yet. And yet it's been a very engaging journey. And I'm really pleased that we have the chance together to go deeper with it tonight.
Hi, Jenna. Hi, everybody. It was wonderful. I had a virtual table. We have 14 people at our virtual table from all over the United States. And just to hear the depth and profound commitment of people coming together in our breakout room about their commitment to not only ending hunger, but about connecting ourselves to humanity, to the world, to the natural world, and that what we are about in the Hunger Project and have always been about is changing and transforming the consciousness of the world. And we're on for it. We are committed to transforming from this illusion of separation to a consciousness of interconnectedness. And I personally wanted to thank Gunjan, because when she spoke about the teacup and the teacups, it has me look at where are my teacups that I need to become aware of, and what are our community teacups that we need to transform. And so I'm so excited to be in this inquiry of interconnectedness and that transformation with all of you in the room in New York, and with all of my virtual Hunger Project family. Thank you so much. I'm just thrilled to be with you tonight. Thank you, Jenna.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you, thank you. Woo! Thanks, Charlie, for your flexibility. Now, Charlie Duell.
Great. Test, great. First, I want to just thank all of the participants in this evening for just, there's the light. Stage manager here. So I want to thank everybody for this amazing evening. I started volunteering with the Hunger Project in 1977, a few years ago, and have been privileged over the years to work with people ending their own hunger. And I think one of the key takeaways from what we were discussing and all the work together is that hunger is ending because of the work of millions and billions of people in their own villages, not because of someone coming in from outside. The saviors of themselves are the people in their communities. And I want to thank the team for expressing that so beautifully in the context and comments so far tonight. Now, we started, when the Hunger Project started, hunger was considered inevitable. It was widely accepted as something that would always be with us. The Hunger Project set out to change that and led a movement that quickly changed that to recognition that hunger could be ended, and we needed to be active on it. At that time, more than 30,000 kids a day were dying of hunger. There was enormous progress over the next bunch of years, as Tim mentioned. And despite a near doubling of the world's population, that number reduced to something like 8,000 or so per day, representing significant progress on this. So as we're talking about interconnectedness, we've been engaging with this question of why is the rest of the hunger, why is the remaining portion of the hunger still there? And Tim said it really well when he said, it's acceptable, it's lamentable, it's sad, but it's acceptable. It's not like if we saw slavery, somebody actually enslaved, we would take action right away. It's not like other issues where where it's intolerable, where it is something that must be ended instantly when seen. So we're, I think, up for another mindset shift, and one that where, as we've seen other shifts, as we've seen that the results of George Forbes, as we've seen work in the Me Too, things can shift very quickly when something goes from being tolerable and something we work on or lament to something that is intolerable. There is an, if you will, urgency of the intolerable. And Gunjan put this beautifully when she talked about the teacup. What was acceptable became unacceptable, and the teacup got thrown out. We need to, at this moment, have that kind of urgency of having hunger be intolerable. So, Jenna, thank you. I'm just thrilled to be able to work shoulder to shoulder and alongside people who are doing so much around the world to end their own hunger and to express their commitment with their colleagues around the world.
Thank you, Jan, Charlie, and thank you to all of you for being willing to engage in this conversation. The inquiry will continue, and we'll be in touch after the event with ways that you can stay involved with we have a first call scheduled for October 25th. I'll close this section by using the words of my dear colleague Samuel from Ghana again. Let us dream, redream, and speak it. Let us live by it and feel proud. And now, if you'll direct your attention to the screen for a short video, and then we'll welcome my colleague Jim Goodman to the stage. Thank you.